today I'm going to discuss with you the top 8 Filipino traits and values here in the Philippines that you should know before marrying a Filipina or before you get married to a Filipina. So by the way, my name is Jenny and today is another vlog and I'm going to discuss to you the 8 top values and traits of a Filipina. Alright, so without further ado, just jump into the video. All we know that Filipinas or Filipino people are very sweet and kind people, and they are like to get along with different kind of races, and we are very friendly. So the first one that I'm going to tackle with is the importance of the family to Filipinos. So actually Filipinos are known to have a strong family ties. This is why it's common to see different generation to multiple families living in a single residence. So the family is the center of a Filipino community, and children are not expected to leave their parents' houses until they get married. So even after that, many couples opted to stay with or close to their spouse's parents. So they are expected to take care of their aging parents instead of sending them to a retirement home. By the way, here in the Philippines, we don't have like a home for the aged, unlike in the US or in the other part of the country or in the other part of the world. We Filipinos love to take care of our parents when they get old, because it is already in our like culture or in our values, in our traits, that we are the one who is going to look after our parents. And of course, I have mentioned to you earlier that a family is very important to us Filipinos, because family is the greatest gift that we have in our lives. If we settle down in the future, we see to it that our parents or our family is also in a good condition. Like for example, if I got married, I myself, I'm going to look after my mom and my dad, to give some maybe help or financial support, education, stuff like that. It's not too big, but what important is you have handed them the help that they needed. The second one, the humor and positivity. Filipino people are very positive person, because I can definitely show you on how we are positive. Filipinos love celebrations and festivities, and also the other country has a long list of national holidays, and many provinces and cities have their own sets of local holidays. Meanwhile, they still find quality time for their families to celebrate birthdays like Christmases and other instances. Of course, at the same time, in the face of difficult or challenging situation, members of the community encouraged to look at the brighter side of things. So this happened to me. I would like to give you a set of example, because when I went to town and with my mom, I went for the groceries. Of course, for food, you're going to buy food, is those things that we needed in the house, some stuff and groceries like that. So when we already arrived from town, of course we have to carry all the stuffs that we are going to bring in the house, right? So the part of our house is actually you have to go to the streets, and then there is like a big stairs or steps. It's probably around 10 steps before you going to stand into the ground all the way to our house. So it's quite far, probably around 1 minute if you're going to walk, stuff like that. So I have experienced this one. So we have actually neighbors on the left and the right side of our house, and I carry a lot of grocery in my hands, and I have some eggs with me, so I have to be very careful of that one because it's a one tray of eggs, like 30 pieces of eggs that I'm holding, so I have to be very careful. And that time I did not notice that there is like a tree, I mean the roots of the tree in the specific ground, so I did not notice, and I slipped in that particular root of the tree. So you know what I did? Instead of, because I definitely hurt my back in that particular incident, so instead of crying because I feel the pain, you know what I did? I just clapped my hands like 2 times, because I clapped my hands because nobody was watching or nobody sees the incident. That happens to me, and only my mom saw it. So when my mom saw that one, she is like, she don't know how to carry her stuffs anymore, because we together are laughing because of what happened to me. And after I fell off, after I slipped, I stand right away and clapped 2 times. So I don't know, but my brain says that I'm going to clap because nobody sees me, just like example for me in my own opinion. Alright, so we are done with the first one and the second one. So let's proceed to the third one, with flexibility and adaptability. I know you guys heard already the term bahala na, which is very, very common here in the Philippines. So which can be translated to whatever happens, happens. Is some one of the more familiar phrases used in the country. It perhaps the most representative of how Filipinos value adaptability and quick thinking. So the expression amplifies one's belief is a higher element and cannot be controlled. So people who use the term bahala na do not see the thing or do not see anything wrong with it, as it serves as a sort of positive affirmation that allows them to deal with problem right then and there. So in this term bahala na, I'm going to give you a set of example. Okay, so way back 2010 and 11, I was a college student, and I had my school in college in West Visayas. So I took Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, and of course I have a lot of challenges there, like some of the projects and everyday allowances, because every time I go to school, my father is a farmer, my mom is just a housekeeper, and then my sister is the one who provided me to go to school or to finish my studies. So for that time, I need some financial support. So I have only every day I have 60 pesos allowance for food. Oh, so I have already rice with me, and I have some eggs. That's gonna be for my lunch. So I have only 60 peso. That's gonna be for my back and forth ride. So that's before, it's 10 peso from here to the town. If you're going to go to town to school, you have to add 5 pesos for that one. So that's gonna be 15. So go back and forth, that's gonna be 30. So 10, 20, 30. So I have already 50. So I don't have no more for projects or for snacks in the recess time or snack time. So every time I have project, like in terms of photocopy, and I have to provide like this kind of huge kind of photocopy in subject, especially in programming. So you know what I did? I don't have money, so I have to borrow like 150 to my classmate in order to provide the book that I am going to submit to our programming teacher. But then again, I remember I have allowance still that it's gonna be used for the next week. So I have to say the word bahala na which means that I am going to spend the 150 pesos for my project instead of my allowance that I'm gonna use for the next week. So you know what I did is I spent that one, I bought my project, and I have to pass that on the deadline. I submitted my project, and then after that I have borrowed 150 to my classmates because I know for sure I cannot ask another 150 because they already provided me for my allowance for the next week. So that's gonna be like not the whole week, because 150 you have to divide that for 60, so that's gonna be like for 3 days only. So you know, I mean is my allowance every week is, let me see, 60 times 5, so that's gonna be around 300, something like that. So I have borrowed 150, and then I already resolved my problem, stuff like that. So that's the most important thing that I want you to guys understand, that bahala na is not actually a bad thing. We're going to proceed to number 4, which is the faith and religion. Alright, so Filipinos are very not very religious, but we spiritually is deeply embedded in Filipino culture. This is a form of animism was already being practiced in many pre-colonial society. Islam had been established in the southern islands even before the pre-Hispanic era, and the Catholic Church views still affect the passing of some laws. Most towns still hold fiesta to honor their patron saints, and many regular non-working national holidays are dedicated to celebrating various religious activities and events. So faith and religion here in the Philippines is Catholic and Christians and Muslims, of course, in the southern part or northern part of Visayas or in Mindanao part. Some of them are Muslims or Islam. So here in the Philippines, actually, if you are Christian or if you are Catholic, we don't have any problem about that one, and everyone is respecting everyone's religion. I can say that Filipinos is not very religious, but in terms of dreams and goals, you can actually get it with hard work and prayers as well. Right, so we're going to proceed to number 5, Filipino hospitality. Alright, so Filipinos are natural hospitable. Guests can be expected to extend warm welcome to their guests regardless of where they came from, and of course how well they know their host and why they are visiting someone's home. So hosts typically provide their guests with food and entertainment, and if there's a time to tour around the local destination. So in the Philippines, no one leaves with an empty stomach, and before they leave, guests are even entreated to take home or pasalubong or souvenirs. Every celebration like birthday, like fiesta or weddings, stuff like that. I remember every year we celebrated our birthday, right? I decided to invite my family, cousins, friends, you know, and neighbors. So of course they're going to come and then celebrate with me for my birthday. And I remember that when I celebrate my birthday, of course, we have a lot of food, you know, like Filipino spaghetti. If you have some budget, you can have the lechon, stuff like that, and a fritada, whatever kind of food. So once your family or your relatives or is already done eating, after you guys have talk, you know, have bonding each other, have moment, they are supposed to, or they're expecting, not everyone are expecting, but they already expecting that you are going to serve or you are going to give them a pasalubong. We have a lot of sweets here in Iloilo, so sometimes when they are visiting for birthday, I have to provide them food, which is you can put in the plastic, or if you have plenty of Tupperwares, you can definitely put it there, and then you have to tell them to give it back the Tupperware because we supposed to use it, because here in the Philippines, when you eat ice cream, you can definitely recycle it and use to put some fish in it, or put some kind of meat to store in the fridge. After they leave your house, they are very happy because the one are already full. At the same time, they brought food for their family, like cake, spaghetti, and whatsoever. So that is actually one of the traits and values of Filipinos. So if you are going to visit in the Philippines, and for example, if you are going to attend a party, you are expected to get one of the pasalubong afterwards. We're going to proceed now to the number 6, which is respect for the elderly. So here in the Philippines, we really value people like, our parents, kind of people who is older than us. Filipinos have higher regard for their elderly, including their parents. Even young adults still practice talking like for their elders' hands and saying mano po. A word mano po, it's just like respecting the older people. But in my case, since I grew without a grandma and grandpa, because when I was young, like grade 1, so I was like 4 years old, I don't have already my grandma because they passed away when I was a kid. So the only thing that I known grandma is like the neighbors, because they are older, and I just like call them Lola, and some relatives that my mom's cousin or my father's auntie, call them Lola. And once we saw them in the streets, we have to say like mano po or something like that. So how you are going to state mano po and opo. So that is like a respect for the elderly here in the Philippines. So that's another traits of a Filipino people. All right, so we are going to proceed now to the number 7, which is industrious attitude. This one is very common to Filipino people because all we know that Filipinos are very industrious in different kinds. Another one of the great characteristics of Filipinos in their being resourceful and industrious. They are determined to finish their set of goals despite difficult circumstances and limited resources. That we grew in that particular sets of mind already, and I'm going to give you an example for that one, because when I was a kid, I remember we are very poor, like we cannot afford to buy matches for the candles, and even the gas for to light the light or something like that. So when I was a kid, my father is very resourceful that we have to eat before 5 because it's gonna be nighttime, so we have to sleep after we have eaten our dinner, because we don't have any flashlight, or in that time we don't have any electricity, because we are very poor and my parents cannot afford to have one before. So I remember my father used to light a sleeper which is made of rubber. The kind of sleeper that is made of rubber, he put that inside aluminum stuff, and then he put the sleeper inside. He light it with the lights, and I mean with the light that we have in our firewood. And then after that, he said, come on, faster, eat faster, because this sleeper is gonna be ended up later, or it's going to die later, so you have to be hurry. So I really understand. I don't know what's going on, but I know that we don't have any light, we don't have any candles, we don't have any matches. So we're going to proceed to the last one, which is the generosity. Filipinos are naturally helpful and generous people. They give as much as they can and extend help to Filipino, or extend help to family members. This seen through the abundance of charity drives and foundation in country, especially when calamity arrives. Way back 2007, I was like in 3rd year high school, so our teacher announced that there will be coming a incoming typhoon in this particular date. We don't have no more classes, but me and my mom forgot to we went to town to get something in that time. The rain is already very, very hard, and we know that we have typhoon that in that time, but we have to go to town because we are going to buy something. So when we are about to go to town, we already stopped into this particular place because the town is actually connected with a bridge, which is along to barangay Bagakay or something like that. So the water is actually already rise, and it's higher than the bridge that we usually use to go to town. So we came back, and actually our roof, the main part of the house, but the sala and the kitchen, our roof blew away, stuff like that. So after like 2 days or 3, and the help began to from different part of Manila, different part of Philippines, and also in the other parts of the country, they give help to us Filipino, because that time only in Western Visayas strike that particular typhoon. I forgot the name, but I'm gonna do the research later on, and then I'm gonna put the name of the typhoon way back 2007. So we have received a lot of clothing, foods, groceries, stuff like that, and even some cash. So if natural calamities happens here in the Philippines, people loves to help, especially even you are poor yourself, but for yourself that if you are in that situation, you're going to feel how they are feeling right now. So that is the 8 traits and values that Filipinos have to marry a Filipina. At least you know already what is the traits and the values that they have. Alright, so thank you so much for tuning in to my video, and of course I am very happy because I have finished this video and explained to you that the values of traits of the Filipino people. And of course, don't forget to leave some comments and then subscribe to my YouTube channel, and just press the notification bell down below.